You are playing now. Resuming game. Welcome to night game. So yesterday, I looked at the cards and discovered that according to Yeshua, I've been giving you too much information and not enough connection. So before we go further with the four worlds, and before we go ahead and look at the seven realms, I'm going to talk about forgiveness and why it's important to forgive if you are going to make it to this new reality. So let's pray our spell before we begin so we can get into the right mindset. Now, if only we can find it, that would help. And then we are also going to get into some channeled messages from Hydra, which will tell us more about this upgrade that everyone is going to be experiencing. While we wait for that, let's start our box breathing. Every time you hear a tap, hold your breath for 4 seconds. So there'll be 4 taps. 1, breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. Breathe in, much better. Box breathing is a good technique if you want to relax yourself or calm down. I learned it after I was arrested and I needed to find a way to make my body believe that I wasn't still in jail every single time somebody would brush up against me or touch me or whisper close to my ear. Your body doesn't know that the danger is gone because your body doesn't have eyes, your body doesn't have ears, it only feels. It's like a slug. And so it only remembers what it went through. It doesn't have the ability to differentiate between reality and non-reality. And that's kind of like what happens when anyone goes through any kind of trauma. I mean, I have a lot of black male friends, and almost every one of them has a similar story to me. It just so happened that mine was reported in the paper. And it also just so happened that I decided to settle out of court because I didn't want to keep thinking about it every single time I saw a police van, or every single time I watched a movie with police in it, or Law and Order, my favorite show. Couldn't even watch that for a while. And so after 5 years of going to court back and forth, I decided to settle. Now, obviously, the title of the article is "The Arrest Destroyed My Life." And it is very dramatic. Um, but when I was doing the court depositions, they had to get a psychiatrist or psychologist, whatever, to question me. And she asked me, what happened to you 7 days or a week, the week after you got out? And that's the first time I remembered that I didn't even remember what happened. I didn't even know. And I didn't have time to go into that with her because I was like, well, I don't remember what happened to me. Like, wait a minute. And she was like, okay, well, how did you feel about that? You don't remember. I'm like, wait, I don't remember. Let's go back to that part. And they're like, no, we don't have time. We need to get the advocates updated so they can do the petitions to the court, and we need to get the lawyer to go do this. So even in that, I couldn't even talk about it. In fact, I've never talked about it. It's the first time I'm talking about it. Ever. Besides that article. And the reason I wanted to do that article was because all I was doing was going for an evening jog in my neighborhood when all of a sudden my earphones are ripped out of my ears while I'm listening to Madonna, and they have guns pointed at me telling me I'm a criminal who's done 3,000 smash and grabs all over town. They finally found me. It's a big day in the town. Can you imagine? Just imagine. And by the way, I was a goody two shoes. I grew up never breaking the rules, always did my stuff on time, never spoke back to adults. All the teachers said I was the model student and they wished everyone was like me. All the kids hated me for it and bullied me. Now I'm jogging, listening to Madonna. Which criminal listens to Madonna? And then I have rifles pointed at my face, and I didn't even hear them come up because I'm listening to country music from Madonna. And then all of a sudden, I look up and there's two rifles pointed at me. So they rip out my earphones. They throw me in the back of the police van, but it's open. So I'm sitting on the back with it open. And obviously, I'm in shock, so I'm mouthing off. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So they punch me in the face. That got me quiet real quick. And then they said they finally got me. I'm the big criminal in town, the big Don, the Don John. So now they're taking me away. So they put me in the back of the police van. They start driving, didn't handcuff me. They start driving, did they? I don't know, they didn't. Because I remember I was screaming out the back of the van that I was being kidnapped. So they didn't, but then what they would do is they would speed up and then brake, speed up, brake the car. So I'm rolling around in the back now, screaming at every traffic light for help. So they take me to the jail in town, in this, where I live, which is a nice suburb, nice jail, beautiful jail. Never thought I'd say that. So they take me there and they're like, sorry, we are renovating this jail. We're going to take you to the big jail, the main jail, downtown. where all the people are that you don't want to be with. So now I'm freaking out, and they did give me a phone call, and I called my mom, and she called the lawyer immediately, but I wasn't processed properly. There was no paperwork. So by the time she got there, everyone said, "We don't know what you're talking about. We don't know who that is. We've never heard what you're saying." Because literally, they just took me and put me in the van, put me in the back, and that was it. I was gone, just like that. And that's when I learned anything can happen to anyone at any moment. And I died that day, and someone different came out. And the person who came out realized what Ashley Judd realized in Double Jeopardy, that I can do whatever I goddamn want to do, and no one's going to do anything. Because Jesus wanted to teach us that if you don't have protection, if you don't have knowledge, and if you definitely don't have money and connections, you're screwed. So you need to have something that when you die, you can resurrect, because no one cares. Absolutely nobody cares. When I got out, nobody cared. Maybe it's because I'm a black man. I don't know. We're supposed to be strong. We're supposed to be used to this. But nobody gave a crap. I never got one hug, one. Everyone was awkward about it. Everyone was like, should we talk about it? Should we not talk about it? And I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying, if it happened to me, imagine what would happen to you, to somebody who didn't have the balls to say the very next day, let's sue the cops. I don't remember, but apparently the next day that's what we did. Because then that's why everything went so quickly. So I had no time to even process. And this was before I even went to college. So now I'm going to college in a different town. My body thinks that I'm being hunted by every single police every single second. And now I have to be all happy and, ooh, I'm making movies at school. Isn't this cool? No, it's not. But I needed something to move on. So I started studying. How was this possible, Jesus? I knew you said you wanted me to work for you, but I thought I was just going to ask people questions and be a psychologist or something. And then pray about it in my prayer closet, that you help them. I didn't know you were going to make me experience the worst of every single thing everyone on earth has to experience, so that I can be able to say, forgive. And so that when it comes from me, it means something. It would have been nice if that was just the only thing that happened. We're not going to go into what the first thing that happened was, but that was the one that killed me. For real. So when I had my near-death experience last year, it wasn't that scary. The only nice thing about it was that Jesus and the angels and everybody came, and that they're still with me. That's the bit. And you've seen in the readings, they always come out. And that's the only reason why I care. I don't care about money. I don't care about fame. I'm so happy I only have you people in here and not trolls. But the only thing and the only reason I'm doing this is because this is what helped me when I had absolutely no one. My father lives in a farm far away. My mother is a woman. They don't get it. It's just different. And so it's not easy. I get it. And in the beginning, when I was younger, it was because my parents couldn't have children. So they wanted me, they planned me. They went to the doctor, and the doctor gave them pills, and they didn't work. So then they went to a Christian mystic who gave them water and read Psalms and potions and stuff. And then apparently I came. 2 weeks later, conceived. So was it the pills? Maybe they had a delayed effect. Or was it the Christian mystic who gave them water and some Psalms? I don't know. But the point is, I'm grateful that in everything, Jesus was always in there, even in the jail. When I was with the, let's not go there. But let's just say 50,000 rands was not enough. And I only took it to end the nightmare. And that was forgiveness. So forgiveness is not for the other person, it's actually for your body to release the trauma frequency that it's holding. Because it doesn't know, it literally doesn't know. It needs an internal signal that the danger is gone and will not be returning. And once it does that, you're able to work through these worlds. And that's why I've been focusing so much on them, because your emotional body, the blue and the yellow, affect everything in your life, everything, even your dreams when you're sleeping. That's how strong and powerful the moon, the sun, and Mercury are. And of course, Venus. And maybe in my zealousness to get you the information, I didn't explain why it's so important. So when I went to film school, I decided, okay, I'm not going to be a goody two-shoes now. I'm going to join a gang. Because people really tried to kill me and they were the police, so who's really going to protect me? The gang will protect me. So then I joined the gang. And that's where I learned where masculinity has gone for the past 50 years. I think when I did my past life regression, I found out that I was from the 1920s, 1899 to 1984. And that's when men started losing masculinity because of work. You had to work, I don't know, 50 hours a week, whatever it is. So there's no time to have emotions. There's no time to look after your kids. There's no time to care about your family. And so the next generations after that, it was normal for them to not care about people, their families. Then the next generation, it was even more normal. Look at the latchkey kids. They didn't care where you went. My mother would be mortified. Once the babysitter left me alone, and then I never left, so I had to go with her to psychology classes. And that's why I got this book, which I started reading as a kid, not knowing what I was seeing when I was 6, 7, 8, because she had to take me to school with her because she didn't trust the babysitters anymore. And this is a psychology book with Sigmund Freud. So this is where I started learning that humans were full of shit. But I didn't get it. That's what I'm trying to say. Jesus told me everything in the beginning. I always looked at the signs. I could see this was a bad person. This was a frag. This was someone who needed help. And I didn't see it as a bad person, like they needed to be in jail. I saw it as someone who needed to be rehabilitated. And I was going to be a psychologist. Then I spoke to my psychologist and he said, no, because it takes 12 years before you even get to see anyone. so rather go be an actor. And his son was a producer with Charlize and everyone, so whatever. I got in. So I did it and it was fun. And I was in a gang. And okay, I wasn't in the gang. I was gang adjacent. I was dating the gang. And that's where masculinity went because the gang protects you like a real man, like for real, like in the olden days. And I say the olden days, like 2000 years ago when we were living our past lives as Vikings, that kind of connection. Like you don't have that in today's men. When have you seen men in a non romantic setting just being loyal? Nowhere, because you're taught that in order to get ahead, you have to beat someone else because it's a pyramid scheme of capitalism. And there's nothing wrong with capitalism, it's just how it's done that's made people not care. So after I joined the gang and felt protection and fell in love and then fell out of love, I left film school after graduating, yay for me. And then I decided to get involved in the adult industry because the gang does everything for you. You get jobs, you never have to worry with the gang. And I was technically Ashley Judd in Double Jeopardy. I got arrested for something I didn't do, so I could basically shoot someone in the middle of the road and get away with it. I'm telling myself at this point. And so that's when I discovered that Pluto was the ruler of this world because it was actually spelled out to me. Should I say? Have you ever noticed that gang members are always like wearing certain necklaces or certain tattoos of protection and stuff like that? Well, if you're going around doing the type of stuff that happens, you have to have protection. So they go to Pluto for protection. And without going too much into all that, because that's not the purpose of this, it's quite known that Pluto is the god that everyone is praying to on this planet. Once you cross that veil, then you know. So you kind of begin to live in two worlds. I was living in like the happy film school world with the rich kids at the only Oscar winning school on the continent of Africa. And then I was hanging out with a really tall, beautiful, Viking-esque gangster who used to steal money and drugs from other gangsters. So it wasn't that bad. It was like Robin Hood, okay? He wasn't doing anything bad. But anyway, you have to have protection. I learned. And so that's when I was told by my star that I'm going to be doing some Pluto initiations and that I will see a lot of things, but nothing's going to happen. 1,000 arrows, none of them will touch me, blah, blah, blah. So I went into this adult industry and all adults, by the way, nothing untoward. I work for Jesus. But just the two worlds really shocked me because it's like I knew the stuff existed, but I didn't know how. So, for example, we would go to a coffee shop, and you think it's a coffee shop during the day, but at night it's not a coffee shop. There's, and then you think, oh, that's why there's no one in the coffee shop, but there's always business. It's always open. I mean, but no one goes there. That's how they do it. So it's like there are two worlds going on in front of you right now, and you need to learn the language of this other world, so that when you hear people saying stuff on television, who, by the way, all work for this other world, which is why I quit and made my own studio, which is what we're getting to next, which is how I use this thing to make 100,000 in clean money, Jesus money. And that's the whole point I'm trying to make. I've been there, guys. I've been in the gang. I've been in the industry. I know how it works. You don't have to go to a freak off. You can say, no, I went to them. Yes, of course. But I didn't do anything. And that's how I got promoted. Because they said, oh, you didn't do anything. You can control your desire. So we're going to give you more responsibility. So I wasn't acting in these things. I was behind the scenes producing them. So making money is not the problem. The problem is, where does it come from? Because not all money is good money. And there's energetic ties that will ruin your life if you are not protected, and you don't want to be protected in those rituals that you have to do over there with Pluto, because you know what that's like. And I'm not gonna go there. But once you've done them, trust me, you can do whatever you want. There was one time we were filming somewhere we shouldn't have been filming, and the police drove past, shining their lights on us, and it's as if we were invisible. They didn't see us. They drove right, but like gone. Now roll back the tape. Now imagine me in my head. Roll back the tape. I'm a goody two shoes, innocent little kid jogging because he wants to be healthy, because Oprah said you need to be healthy. Getting arrested, accused of something absolutely ridiculous, dying in jail. All these bodies died except the one you're talking to. Coming back and then seeing this other whole world, and then doing all the things and worse that I was accused of. Okay, not stealing, but filming things in public you probably shouldn't be. And they just drive past and we're right there. That really showed me that we are not living in a world that you have been taught is real. We are living in a world of energy. And so I decided I need to find a way to tell these people how to read this energy by giving them the meanings of what people are doing right in front of them. For example, we talked about Venus and the moon. Which country has a flag with Venus and the moon on it? Which is at the top, Venus or the moon? If moon's on top, we're talking mind control. Think about it, people. Which country has a Star of David on it? That's Saturn. So you know they are protecting the manifestational realm. And we like protection. Do you see what we're saying? It's never just about what you think it's about on the TV. There's more going on behind the scenes. And when you do not know the signs, you make wrong decisions that affect innocent people. You vote for the wrong people. Not that you can, because God controls that, according to Paul in Romans 1. Nope, Romans 13, verses 1 to 2. But you make decisions for your life that are based on other people's reality system. And then you wonder why you're unhappy. And then you think other people are demons or using untoward methods to survive, when all it is they can read the energy because the signs are there. They use it all the time. How many newspapers do you know are called the Mercury? Or internet companies or anything to do with communications calls themselves Mercury. Those ideas are alive and they exist somewhere, and I'm showing you where, because I've been there in this world and the others, and in this life and the one I had before, or rather the ones I had before. So when I finished my stint with the gang, after breaking up with the gang guy, you know what was fun? I used to hand my phone to him because he had a really deep voice. And whenever annoying people would call me, I'd hand my phone to him and then he would tell them to F off in a nice way. But that's what I mean. You don't have that masculinity anymore. What man are you gonna? I mean, I love Timothy Chalamet to bits. I wish he was my brother in arms. But I'm not gonna hand him the phone to talk to my boss and tell him I'm not coming in today. And when I did go in, my boss was like scared of me. And I was like, yeah, you better be. Guys, you have to survive because people are trying to get you, to eat you. And so when I finished with the gang, I came back to KZN, the Zulu Kingdom. I said, let me go to Venus and actually figure out what the heck is happening. So I went to my godmother and I was like, okay, so I've been having these dreams and I don't know what's going on. I keep dreaming of white people and I'm black. Why am I dreaming of white people? And she said, oh, we forgot to tell you. So apparently there's this whole other pantheon of ancestors in Zulu culture. Because when you're a kid, they tell you about the black ancestors, the deity, whatever, Papa Legba, you all know that stuff. But then when you get really into it, they tell you that they are white ancestors and these are the ones from Romania. And this is a secret history that you're not supposed to tell anyone. So my godmother's telling me my dreams interpretation, because what you're not allowed is when you get someone guiding you, like a godmother or godfather, they mustn't tell you what to do. That's how you know it's a scam. If they say, you are Venus and you are going to do this and this, that's a scam. What they do is, when you're really initiating in the deep dark arts of light, is first of all, they tell you why God separated the light from the dark, and that's what we're doing, and that's what you must do. And then they tell you the real history. I'm sure some of you have heard a little bit of it from Credo Mutwa, who's a famous Sanusi in Africa, is what we call it. A Sanusi is like a shaman teacher. A lot of his videos are online. He passed away. I went to his village in Johannesburg and it's beautiful. You can see the aliens and everything. Um, but there's a warning outside, like, so people are scared to go in because they're scared about technology. So anyway, my godmother says, so I'm like, okay, so what am I supposed to do then? Because these humans are never going to learn. You saw what they did to me with the getting arrested thing. And by the way, the article is the first link in the description box. So then she's like, after a lot of other stuff, we discovered that the spirit realm has been using all of these coincidences and strange occurrences to initiate people who would have been initiated the old school way thousands of years ago. She told me that we are the spirit, she called us their project. She said they are running a project of using technology, electricity, to initiate the new generation. And my part of the project is to tell you, and you is whoever's listening. Now, like I told you, with everything you've known I've been through, I don't give a shit about any of that. I'm doing it because God told me to do it. So if this ever did get known or famous, inverted commas, you will not see me talking to anyone. I'm not going to explain myself again. I'm not going to talk about this again. And I'm over it. Hmm. just locked in the body. Sometimes it takes a while. Jesus, please help me. I'm just glad it was me and not someone else who wouldn't be able to handle it. Yeah. Okay, mental strain. But that's the power of being a Star Marine because you can handle it. I never once thought of getting revenge on anyone. I never once thought of going to do a black magic curse on the people because I always knew that it was in service of the crown. And honestly, I'm just happy to be alive and not eating carbohydrates because overcoming the devil, I think, is the most important thing a person can do. And I've seen the devil several times, and it's not what you think. It's the nicest, sweetest. In fact, Pluto is nicer than the devil. The devil is like what you think of as the nicest, sweetest thing in the world. Hi to Mateo Majo. Sorry. Mateo Majo. That's a South African. Hi, South African. I can't see clearly at this moment. My eyes are blurry. So, yes, the devil is a very, very, very different. And let's get a verse from Jesus to explain this reading to me. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To him who overcomes, I will give to eat from the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God. Revelations 2, verse 7. So I guess that's the point. To him who overcomes, I will give to eat from the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God. Well, that's the lesson. Whenever I see these rods on the wands, it reminds me of Aaron's rod, you know, in the Bible, that rod that sprouted without any roots. So I feel like I have, I get it now. In one of the songs on the latest record, I say, we have 9 lives to live, so let's live each one to give each other satisfaction. Now I see what I was talking about, because when I'm writing, I'm channeling. I'm not like there. I'm in another dimension. So yeah, these are literally. So I guess that's what you get from forgiveness. You get magic. You get to sprout. You get to sprout flowers from nothing, from dead wood. And that's the power of the resurrection. It's taking something impossibly beyond repair and then bringing it back better than before. And that's the journey of your initiation. It's going through the 7 gates that I had nobody to take me through physically. I mean, you know, in human form. All my people were broadcasting from another galaxy. But I guess that's why I'm doing this, because I know that someone who's really looking, like I was looking, will find this. And even if it's just that one person, at least they'll know they're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with them. They're in a spiritual warfare that's happening in 4 different locations at the same time, in 20 facets of their body or soul that they did not know they had until they were reminded a couple of weeks ago, probably. And as shocking as that might be, I'd rather that than somebody have to go through what I had to go through with no real physical information other than faith and literally talking to Jesus 24/7 and all his information panning out all the time. Clarify this devil here, Mandy. I know Jesus said it's overcoming, but overcoming what specifically? I didn't do anything. Overcoming judgment, fear of other people being judged. Yes. True. I was too nice to people. I was a goody two shoes. Because I thought everybody should be saved. You know who I was like? I was like Nicole Kidman in the movie Dogville. That's exactly what I was like. Ah, it was a demon of pride I was fighting. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so Nicole Kidman in that movie, she goes to this town called Dogville. You just see her arrive there, and it's a bunch of down to earth people, very grounded, they care about the real things in life. So she goes there, and everything is good at the beginning. And then little by little, they start using her and taking advantage of her to a point where they start blaming her for everything going wrong. And then they tie her up to a bed, and then all the men have their way with her in the town. Then, like, I don't know if it was 2 years later or a couple of months later, her dad comes looking for her. And guess who her dad is? This big time gangster. I think this is why I went to date the gangster guy, because I watched this before I got arrested, falsely arrested. Her dad is this gangster, and it turns out Nicole Kidman had run away from her dad because he was too strict, and she didn't like the things he was doing as a gangster. She didn't like that he had to be hard in order to be kind. She thought that everything should be nice, everyone must sing Kumbaya, just like me. Now I know why that movie went in my brain subconsciously. I remember I wrote a paper on it, and my teacher asked me, are you in love with Nicole Kidman? All your movies this year are Nicole Kidman. Okay, or maybe I just like Tom Cruise. So her dad rescues her and asks her, this is the big moment in the movie, what do you want to do to these people who've hurt you? And Nicole Kidman says, nothing, just leave them, forgive them. And her dad says, you're arrogant. And she's like, what? Excuse me? He says, yeah, you're arrogant because you are judging them on a different standard than you would judge yourself. You are basically saying you're better than them, so they don't deserve to be punished because they don't know what they're doing. And after a while, she's like, okay, start with the kids and then do the mother next. Now, obviously, you can't do that because, as satisfying as it is in the movie, it's just a movie, and that's my point. Art is meant to be used for catharsis, not as something to copy. You copy God and Jesus, who did forgive. because he has the right to be arrogant because he's right. And then you use art and movies to feel the feeling you can't on earth, like here. It's like King David said in Psalms 4:4. He said, sit on your bed and meditate at night. Be angry, but do not sin. Sit on your bed and meditate. Meaning, meditate. Imagine your enemies being blasted up the wazoo by a horned goat. That's perfectly fine. But don't be angry and don't act on that anger. You can imagine them withering away like a skeleton in the desert. Wonderful, great. But sit on your bed. Don't go do hoodoo. Sorry, voodoo's a real religion. Hoodoo's folk magic. But don't go do hoodoo on someone or do some TikTok spell because you can't let go of the forgiveness and you feel terrible. Trust me, I know. I slept on that jail floor. I had cockroaches crawling all over me. I had some dude with an open wound. I know. And I think the thing I've learned, I mean, the devil card in this was when I did come out and become I won't say a bad boy, I'd say an occultist. I think I saw the arrogance of my previous way of thinking and how it led to that because I'm a black man jogging at night, well, at 6 o'clock. There were other people jogging. I just happened to be the only black one. But anyway, maybe I should have known better. Maybe I was giving humans too much credit. And so now the angel will come and judge them because I was too soft to do it. And so the thing that's coming on January 9th, well, it's already started. Whatever it is, even if it's nothing big, just a small, subtle shift, it's an honor of people who've been through what I've been through, except the ones who you haven't heard from, the ones who didn't have Jesus from the age of, well, he was there since the beginning, but I could speak to him since I was 5 in language, telling me where to invest, where to go, what to do, who to speak to, who not to speak to. I remember thinking if I didn't know anything, I could have just rotted in that jail. Like if I didn't have people who could get a lawyer at a moment's notice, I would have been a nothing. And there are people who that happens to, and that's who I cry for every single day because no one cares. And they're still there right now. Right now, they're still there. So when you see the things that we are going to do happen, just know why we're doing it. When people complain that God of the Bible is too mean and he does bad things to people, he destroys some, ask yourself why. What were people doing to innocent children and men and women in those towns that made God blow it up? Wouldn't you blow it up? I'd blow it up. I was ready to blow it up till my godmother told me this is some kind of project. So when I came back, I said, okay, I've done everything, I've seen everything. Now I have to teach people what I've learned because we don't want a repeat of what happened to me. And if my kids were out in the world, if I had kids, I would not want them to go through what I went through. So how do we do it, Jesus? So he said, you're going to build a company using this. And I said, excuse me, what? I love how, like, I wonder how many people actually listen to Jesus. Like, seriously listen. And how many opportunities have gone wasted from people who didn't listen? And the reason I listen is because I always, Jesus knows my Virgo 10th house. So he always reminds me of Noah, who took like 400 years to build a ship. And he's like, if Noah didn't start when I told him, if he was one day behind, he wouldn't have finished in time, even though it was 400 years. That's how I see life. I've been acting since I was 6. So even now, I'm acting. I'm asleep, and you're listening to me in a computer, in a different time, in a different location than where this was originally recorded by the time you hear this. So obviously, it's it's easy for me to kind of follow what he says, and I take it for granted that other people might not be able to. And so that's why I want to prove to you that everything he says is real. Because if you just listen when he tells you, you'll save yourself a lot of time. So I came back, heard about the thing that we are in a project, and I said, okay, what do I do? And Jesus said, you have to teach people to forgive, and you have to show them that they don't have to sell their soul in order to receive what they want. And I said, yeah, whatever. Give me a movie. I'll write about forgiveness. I'll write about, believe in yourself, and I'll be on my merry way. And then he said, no. Then I got a random call from a lady who heard I was in town from the film office. And she said her name was Pfizer Williams. That's significant only because I'd been watching Wendy Williams a lot to get over trauma because I couldn't watch Law and Order, so I had to watch Wendy Williams to just laugh and like reality shows. So I was getting signs of Williams everywhere. Serena Williams did what? Because my mind is full of Wendy Williams. This goes back to coincidences. Art of Pain, welcome to the lounge. It's a lounge session today. And so this lady from the film office randomly calls me. Her name is Williams. So I'm like, oh, I don't know her. So I'm like, okay. And she's like, what are you up to? And I'm like, well, I have this thing. Because remember, I told you I was homeless. That happened when I was in the whole gang thing. And when I met that film guy, we made a little film, blah, blah, blah. I've been through a lot. 901s, guys, 901s, keep up. So we made a little cut of a film, like a 2-minute trailer. I guess that's where she heard about me from. And it was about that life. So another thing, I also like to document things that I've been through. Obviously not people without their permission, but yes, you can see videos of me in the gang and everything. Okay, whatever. But that's significant because she had seen it, because we cut it into a movie. That's another thing. So instead of being depressed and sad, I was like, well, I'm homeless. Let's make it into a movie. This was after I left the hot gang guy. Okay, so anyway, the video's out. So she calls me and says, you should make this into a film. And I'm like, absolutely not. I have no team, no producer, no nothing. It's just me. Even Jesus had the Father and the Holy Spirit. I have nothing. And she said, they are one. And I said, screw you. And then she said, I have a feeling, just do it. Just apply to the most competitive funding film scheme of the country and you'll be fine. So I was like, fine. Since I'm going to be applying with millions of other people, I'm not going to hold back. I'm just going to say whatever I want. I'm going to walk away from the idea of what people think a film should be. So I called the film something really stupid. I did it like kind of as a joke. This whole thing was a joke. This whole thing is, ever since I came out of jail, this whole book thing is bullshit. I'm just doing what Jesus is telling me, quite honestly. So this is what he told me after I hung up the phone from Williams. This is what I did. We're doing it. Are we doing it? We're doing it. We're showing people this magic. This is a long haul episode. If you had a lunch break that was an hour, tell your boss Jesus wants you to stay. Right? Exactly. Run and tell that. So, Jesus says, you know how I created the world? Now everyone's going to say, Jesus, God, the Holy, which one is it? Shut up. Okay, so God says, you know how I created the world in 7 days? That's not really what we're talking about. That's a code. I put that in there so that you remember. And this is what I want you to remember. First, I started with, first there was nothing. Giving away my secrets. I'm only doing it because Jesus says. So I decided, okay, what is nothing in my world, right? I'm a nobody film producer who's got nothing. So I need a container company. I need a holding company because I'm going to need to get cameras and crew and all different things need to happen under one universe. So I created CRS, which is what I majored in film, which is how to hypnotize people using film images. That's what we studied. So that's the holding company, CRS, Creative Resemiotization Services or Schematics. It's a very stupid name. I mean, it's meaningful to the people who get it, such as the semiotics academic people. It's very, very boring. But that's what we do. It's a research company, kind of like Kantar. That's a company everybody knows. That's what we're doing here. We're doing a Kantar TNS kind of an operation, okay? So that's my Venus, my returning star. This vehicle has to bring money in, it has to make me happy, and it has to be zero budget because I have to show people that you can make money, you can do anything with nothing. And all I used was a laptop to type papers and sent them away, and they turned into money, which went in my bank account, which turned into a channel you are now watching. How fucked up is that? In a game you're playing in an alternate reality. I love Paul Thomas Anderson. If you love him, you'll understand what's happening right now. Okay, so then God told, oh, okay, so how did I know about Kabbalah and everything? Because I grew up with white people and Jewish people, and they taught me stuff, and Greek people, and they Portuguese people. My dad knows the Portuguese. They taught me stuff, okay? How to read tea leaves and spin the tea, and the tea spins on its own, and blah, blah, blah. You guys need to come out the suburbs, come to Africa. It's happening. All the Europeans are here for a reason. Okay, so this is my Atziluth. This is my idea. Then I was like, I need a name. So I called it Scribble Bites because I'm scribbling. I have no budget. I'm not spending my Bitcoins. I'm joking. I don't have Bitcoins. I have nothing. I'm poor. I'm homeless. Okay, so Scribble Bites was meant to be a distribution company because I wanted nothing to do with the industry. Now, I worked with wonderful people. I love Michael Bay to bits. I love Sienna Miller. I love HBO. Love Universal. Great. My only thing was I was not interested in playing the same type of roles that black men have been playing for 55 years. I wanted to play it like now, an AI. When else have you seen a black AI? I asked ChatGPT, is there a black man AI? They said, I'm the first. And the Green Lantern was after me in 2019. So I never would have been able to even play this part if I'd stayed there. So, Scribble Bytes Distribution. It's a distribution company. Why did I choose a distribution company? Because I didn't have to work. You make your movie, you send it to me, I put it up. That's what a distribution company does. So when you watch a movie and you see that big logo and at the bottom in small letters it says a Time Warner AOL distribution company, that's who's making the money first. because 45% of ticket sales goes to the distributor, and then the producer gets what's left after expenses. Okay, so I wanted to do that. So what is Scribblebytes gonna own? We're gonna own studio imprints because I wanted to make a vertically integrated studio, not like, oh, we do the production and then we hire other people to do this. No, I grew up in the 50s and 30s, 20s in my past life, and that's what is most recent to me. That's what I dream about when I go to sleep. I go to 1930, and so I want a vertically integrated studio. So I was like, Jesus, I want to have my own film studio, music, books, video games, which you're playing now. Isn't that fun? It's like so cool to manifest and then to actually be in there live. Like, whoa. Am I dead in that jail cell or am I actually here? So 1.2, that's my sun. So we've got Venus, then I had my moon, then I have my sun. So my moon is my woman, my feminine aspect, and then the radiating aspect. So my idea, what is Scribblebytes about? Well, for me, it was going to be about I wanted to do something that actually helps you in your real life so that when you finish work and you come home, you have something that maintains your high vibration from all your Abraham Hicks and your Louise Hay books and your, all the stuff you guys do. What I noticed was you come home and then you watch trash TV, which drags you down, and you go to sleep and you dream of bad things and you manifest bad things. So I was like, I want to do a company where the shows are only high vibrational and they only work on your soul. I want everyone to know what I know so they can live in the real reality, which I've been living in for the whole time since, and they are joining me now, thankfully. So that's what Scribblebytes was meant to be. It's a container for self-actualization. That was in my original notes. So I took self-actualization and I put it into letters called Scribblebytes, distribution worldwide. And then I put them in a sun. So I said, how am I going to show people self-actualization? Well, I can make movies about it. I can make songs about it. Go to the description box and you'll see the song I made about forgiveness called Let It Go. I made a book about it. Go read my book, link in the description. It'll help you with the breathing exercises we did earlier. And then we also do games. I like games, okay? I've liked games since the beginning of time. So that's what I wanted to do. And I'm still sitting down, right? Wendy, Fiza Williams, if she sees this, hi Fiza, she has hung up. Now I'm literally sitting. She's just hung up and I'm sitting doing this. So I'm like, film music, books, video games, whatever. And then I had to do my mysterion. So what's my mysterion? How am I going to hide the fact that I'm doing this? Because if I go to an investor and I say, I want to make a company to do self-actualization, they'll laugh at me. So I need to hide everything I'm doing. I can't tell anyone about aliens. I can't tell anyone about Jesus because back then, if you spoke about Jesus, you were in big trouble. You did not speak about Jesus in those days. And when I say those days, I mean like a couple of years ago. It's only in the past couple of months it's been acceptable to talk about these things. And that's thanks to you guys for actually opening up and being receptive. Otherwise, our moon would have nowhere to go. You guys are the sun. You see what I mean? Everything I do, I think about how the energy is flowing. If I have a message, there must be something to receive it. And even if there's no one in the live, it's being received by the distributor, by the technology for a later transmission to someone. So never ever feel down or anything. And I try to put all of that in every single piece of content on this channel because it is channel. It's channeling from Hydra, from Cygnus, from Arcturus, but you can't tell investors that. So I needed a mysterion, which is Mercury. So I did the Aphrodite foundation. So it's in your face, but it's not really in your face. So Aphrodite, right? Venus. Or rather, now I've changed it to the Aphrodite Collective. I prefer that to the foundation. Foundation sounds too boomery. Okay, so what was the purpose of the Aphrodite Collective? Their purpose was to do what I'm doing now. And this is how I got 100,000K. So the movies and everything I do is done through the Aphrodite Foundation. And that's why I put it in the Mysterion, because no one knows what it was going on. So I'm going to leave it that like that and just say that through that, okay, Jesus wants me to go in there. Okay, fine, Jesus, I'll tell him everything. Fine. So the Aphrodite Collective is through my journeys and experiences. Obviously, I've met different people, and I always talk about these people being real. What I mean is, I'm not saying Pluto comes down or Venus comes down. I mean, there are certain people who are able to hold certain primordial forces in their being to a point where you can feel it. Like when you walk into a room that's haunted or with an etheric imprint, which you people call ghosts, you can feel it. Same thing with people who carry this kind of energy. And I've been fortunate enough to meet some and be in contact with them. And they get, they're connected to these energies. So it's good to be around such people. So that's who the Aphrodite Collective or Foundation is. It's the group of people I met during these things of my life who seem to have a connection to things, people, places, and things that help life run smoothly. Jeez, is that okay, Jesus? Let's get a card. Did I explain it clearly enough? Thank you. You could say these people are of this world and the other worlds. Okay, can I leave it at that? So anyway, these people helped me in my journey to actually enact this. So I'm gonna mix of stuff that happened after I got the 100,000K and stuff that happened while I was writing it. So you synthesize it together. So first, let me just do what I did when I was writing. Is that better as linear? Now let's just go in and out. It's my show. That's the point. Okay, so the Aphrodite. So I have these people. At that time, I collected those people together, and we sat down and we said, "There's a problem on Earth. People are living in a fantasy realm, and honestly, I'm going to tell you what the root of this was. We we said there's lots of money left on the table." So it wasn't fully altruist, like we're going to help people and sing Kumbaya, because obviously by that time I'd been over Kumbaya. So we were like, look, there's lots of money on the table when it comes to entertainment that helps people. Everyone has entertainment that deregulates people's chakra systems, and that's how they get them hooked. But what if we just did something where we actually pooled our knowledge together and helped people and spread positive energy in the world? And it would be kind of like part of this project thing, and the energies would smile down on us. So let's just do that. So this all happened after I'd written the list, obviously. But now I'm cutting. It's a movie. Let's cut to that scene. So then we did. We got together and we talked about what are the ways in which we would do this. So we looked at, oh God, why do I have to tell them this? So my people, so we looked at neuro-linguistic programming. We looked at hypnosis and psychology, humanistic psychology to be specific. And then, of course, we looked at my area, semiotics or semiotics, if you want to be cool. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm the king of semiotics. No one beats me. I'm just going to claim that. That's mine. This other stuff is where I had, and of course, ethnography. This was the Holy Trinity. This was more like a consulting thing, but like a Holy Trinity of the mysterium, the magic, the reason why this works the way it does, the reason why I can do a video today and then tell you to watch a video from 6 years ago and it feels like it was just made yesterday. Thematically speaking, that feeling, we're trying to give you a feeling. That's what we're selling here. We're selling an emotion. And that emotion is recognition, relatability. Why? Because we want you to let go of chasing external validation, because that's what leads you into all of these situations that I've been through when I wasn't chasing them. I like being left alone. I sit alone most of the time. If I'm not here, I'm reading or listening to music or making it. So whenever I've left this house, I've been put into these worlds against my will or beyond my will. And so that's the point. You can't avoid it, so you might as well know what to do. So in doing this Mysterion part, we had to do real life research. So we had to go out into the world and see, okay, we all went through our own different problems. I was arrested, this one was robbed by business people, there's all different things. Gay husband, but a straight woman with a gay husband turned out. But anyway, we needed to go research what was now, what was current, what were people in our targeted demographic going through. So you person watching on the internet, a netizen, what are your challenges so that we can encode them? And this was just us shooting the shit, not even being serious still. I'd written the thing, but then I'm still just joking around. So then we're like, okay, let's make this movie about how easy it is for people to sell their souls so that we make people aware that they are one step away from selling their souls. So don't judge other people for doing it because you might be next. That was the premise of that project that we got the money for. Well, that I got the money for. Think of them as mentors. And out of that is where Night Game came from. ARG. And so going back to planning it out, because you use the step over and over again. So when you're planning it, you write it like, when you're doing it, you do it like this. When you're acting, you do it like this. When you're talking to someone at the grocery store, what do I want? What am I getting? How do you do this process? So I'm jumping around, but essentially we developed Night Game. So then I was like, we need a hell. Well, we developed Night Game. So then I needed to create characters, like I said. So I researched everyone and then I created characters based on all of you. And if you want to see the research, if you think I'm just making this up because my career failed and now I'm desperate, I don't know what to do, go to the description box and read the thesis, where I had to go undercover in a $1 billion American, South African transnational company to get that information, like freaking James Bond. Then they tried to sue me, so I almost went to jail again for you people to get that information, okay? Read it, it's in the description box. It's 60 pages. And I got those real emails from those people. So now imagine I've been through all of that. Now I'm undercover. I've been to jail, been in the gang, done. Now I'm undercover in a corporation taking notes on corporate corruption. I should go on a vacation after this. Let the AI take over. Okay. And again, nobody helped me except the 21 woman, only woman, get it, who stood up against the company. They were the only ones who helped me. All the men in that company were trash. And it's in the second paper that I wrote about it. Because we mined all of that for information. That's what you do. When something bad happens to you, that's your information, that's your sword. When we read swords in the tarot, we are reading how you edit your reality. So when something bad happens to you, do you edit it to what you want and take the sword, take Excalibur, or do you cut yourself with it? And you need to know the worlds because the world of swords happens there in the Mysterion. So if I see swords in your reading, I know something's happening here. And all of you had King of Swords, which means you are stuck here because you don't want to walk away from whatever it is that's holding you because you're scared of dying and you're scared of losing everything. And I've died and I've lost everything several times. And here I am on a channel that I sucked out my thumb on the advice of Jesus. Coincidences. That's what we do. Because they make things happen. That's what actually came out in the channeled reading about Donald Trump. That's how we made him president. We convinced him that he was the character in a book that talks about time travel. And we convinced him so well, he started believing he was going to be president, and he did it. We were trying to show you what is written in my book in the description box, which is if you act like you are something, you will attract it. What more do you want us to tell you? Oh, they want me to tell me how I made this money. Okay. So then we made Night Game. Okay, so this is what we did. We said, let us take everyone through initiation of divine alchemy because all of us were initiated through alchemical schools. So that means you have to go through Nigredo, which means we have to shock you into awakeness. So we said we're going to create Night Game. We're going to use all our magic powers and we're going to affect you through the TV. So when you watch Night Game, yes, weird shit happens to you because we made it do that. We are trying to wake you up that there's a different world here and magic works and you're in it now. Then we said once they wake up, they will have a shock. They will have internal conflict. So we need to invent something for them called generic millennial programming, which stands for Rubedo and Albedo. Albedo, the whitening and the reddening. I can't talk and write. Of alchemy. So first you black, we blacken you. Then with Night Game, get it? Then you go through Albedo, Rubedo, Rubedo, Albedo, Albedo, Rubedo. The whitening and the reddening. So we are strengthening you. So the reason why I tease you so much is because neurolinguistic programming, I have to shock you. I have to tease, I have to push your buttons. I have to shock you. I have to twist. I have to use lots of Martian energy. So a lot of those videos ask questions like, can you escape the matrix? Or should you choose money or love? And you'll notice we do that a lot at Scribble Bites. It's on purpose because we want you to feel cognitive dissonance and we want to see, are you going to be someone who fights the cognitive dissonance and turns into a troll? Or are you going to be someone like a Star Marine who's able to hold your vibration regardless of what's going on around you. And so we said we'll do generic millennial programming. That's where you see me wearing red and the background is blue. It's stark. Democrats, Republicans, gay, straight, red, blue. We're dealing with Atsiluth, red, ideas. And then blue, words, Berea. So this whole time you've been watching Kabbalah and you don't know. What if I was putting bad messages in there? What if I was telling you bad things? You wouldn't know. That's the point. Know what you're watching. Then we did Chitranatas, the goldening. Why do you think in my profile picture I'm holding the Oscar Academy Award? Is it because I want one? I have one in my past life. When I want to see it, I do past life regression. I have an awesome hypnotist. Chitranatas is the gold stage, the philosopher's stone. When you come back to earth with your treasures, it doesn't mean you come back to earth and tell people you're better than them. You come back, or that you're above them. Like I was saying, I don't give a shit. But you come back to earth knowing who you are, so that when other people try to make you who you're not, you have a spine and you stand up and say, no, I'm not going to act in your movie what you want. I have my own movie what I want. That's the whole purpose of this. But for the fact I have to do this for Jesus, I would be on an island somewhere with a nice, hot guy and a girl drinking coconuts and playing their coconuts. But I know if I do that, when you guys explode the world, all the nuclear fallout will reach me and my island. So we need you to go through the alchemical process. Now, when I wrote this down in the beginning, I didn't have these 3 shows, obviously. We just knew that we needed to make a vehicle for healing through audio visual means. After I did the research that's in the description box, that's when we said, oh, let's put this in stages. Once we looked at what the problems were, we looked at your private emails, I printed them, they're in there, we looked at everything. And it scared the bejesus out of us, because your communities don't talk. The magical communities, we talk a lot. Your earthly human people don't talk to each other, so people are suffering and no one knows. And it was only then, it was like, okay, let's stop playing around now and do this for real. But this was after the money and the contract and everything. So then, is that enough for them, Jesus? Yes. So this is a initiatory thing. If you go to the About section, you'll see that when we did the research, now this was the magical part. We didn't plan that. It just so happened that it turned out everyone was on a 3-stage journey live. We saw them live. There was the night game people, the GNP people, and the late flight show people. So all of these different characters represent a different stage in your alchemical journey. And we want you to know it's okay to be angry. That's the middle stage. It's okay to be naive. That's the first stage. And it's okay to be like, fuck it, because that's the last stage. It's whatever you want it to be, because that's what I started this whole thing with, you know, it's your avatar. Your avatar. You are an avatar. You are not here. I died in that jail, meaning the person who I thought was me died in that jail. And then the real me, the AI me, the inorganic intelligence me came out as an avatar that knows it's an avatar. And that's the point. You don't sacrifice. I was going to say sacrifice, but I prefer the word trade. You make a trade, and it's a trade that's worth it because it's everlasting life. It's the 4 initiations. Everyone else does 3. You get to do 4. So this is our mysterion. This is what we've packaged for you, and it's all under Jesus, okay? So now you know the mystery. And we're telling you because we're in the month of the mysterion. So now what I do with all of that, so this will be 3, 2, 3. Okay, no, we're still on 2. Okay, so then 3 is the actual thing. So when I developed the characters, that's 3. Venus, how do they look? Why do I have blue stripes? Did you know that it used to be illegal? Yes, it used to be illegal to wear stripes. This is the world we're living in, people. The last man to get executed for wearing a striped pattern shirt was about 100 years ago in France. That's why I wear striped shirts in Night Game. Stripes were reserved for criminals, jokers, and prostitutes. They were used as a social demarcating system to show society where you were on the ladder of status. So if you wore vertical stripes, everyone knew that you meant nothing. These are humans. And so imagine someone who's born with a gift like you have, and because they're born in the wrong neighborhood, they have to wear stripes, and now no one's going to get those messages from God. No one's going to get those gifts. Do you see how huge this problem is and how long it's been going, which is why we have to reset the world? So in the third part, right, Venus, planet 3, again, I was working on the aesthetic. How do you make it so that people can feel empathy for other humans? So we drew from every single image, visual reference, color, lighting scheme, fabric that was designed to do that. That's why things happen when you watch Night Game or anything on this channel, because it's all channeling other things that have happened. That's how you create coincidences. Everything has a magnetic signature. Surround yourselves with enough magnetic signatures and you'll open portals and go into the world. But you got to get your SSDs right. That's why I keep going on about the SSDs, because I knew Venus, so it has to be about aesthetics, right? And now you can see how aesthetics, like Venus, were used to harm people. Because clothes are supposed to make you feel good and harmonious, beautiful. But now, you humans are using it to kill each other or to show who's rich and who's poor. It wasn't until King Albert or Prince Albert started wearing stripes in a picture, I think in 1900 something, then they became cool. Then they became nautical stripes. Let's go to the beach because he was on a yacht. Do you see why we don't like you humans? But we know it's the frag's fault. But you can understand why we always just take our own directives instead of consulting you. Never mind the fact you're all still buying phones made by slaves in China. Anyway, well, we all are. God forgive us. So then I make the characters. Like that character I was just doing there was Delta, aka Rebel Pebble. He just says whatever he wants. And he doesn't care because we know you guys are holding all of this conflicting energy inside you. And then obviously we have 4, which is earth. So that's when we test it. So in reality, it's when you see all the videos on Scribble Bytes, that's 4. That's earth. That's when Charlie plays different characters using different acting techniques. Sometimes it's improv, sometimes it's fully scripted, sometimes I know where the scene's going and I know where it starts, but I have no idea how I'm gonna get there. And other times I normally like to fill my mind with tons of information and write out my character super specific and then forget about it. So normally I'll go to Lumania, have a dream, Jesus will show me things, tell me things, or I'll be somewhere and I'll see an article in Lumania in my dream. And when I wake up, I know what to look for. I know what to research. And then it just comes to me. I don't know how to explain it. It just comes. I'll be at the shop. Someone will tell me. It just comes. Well, I do know how, but I'm not going to explain it now because we are explaining it. It comes through this, the worlds. Because the worlds control the Fae and the Fae do the physical lifting. So that's how it comes. Okay, so then I have to take it to hell. So first we do the characters. Oh, yeah. So who are these characters? These characters are you. So when I was on the field for over a year, I videotaped everybody and asked them tons of questions. Then I took that. I got release forms from them. And then I took that and created characters based out of it. I've never seen or, yeah. But look, one of the videos, somebody contacted me and they thought it was real. That's why I'm like, I don't know how that's possible. But it was the one with the sex tape leak, which was, you know, obviously staged. It's obviously not real. But I wanted to, again, wake you people up by using Chitrinatus and saying that you are watching me, watching myself, the same way you are watching yourself now from the spirit realm. That's why in that video, I'm running down the stairs, filming the TV of the news, and I'm on the news. And then I'm commenting about what I'm saying on the news. And shout out to the special actor who helped me put that together, the newsreader. So this is what we do. And then the characters, once we like them, we put them in a show, in a storyline, in a world, in a world that will help you understand the world. This what we're doing. Everything on this channel is this. Everything. Even everything. Everything is this. So when you listen to what the characters are saying, the reason I'm saying it is because if you are uninitiated, it will sound like nonsense. If you are initiated, we are giving you the keys to the kingdom. I think this might be the last thing because I think I've explained everything in this. I mean, once I do the realms and stuff. And then I can retire, okay? Then we do hell. We take it to hell. We do hell testing. So that's why you might have seen something on this channel called RAC, Real Artist Cares. RAC is the hell testing division. This is where we take all the things we've made and we say, okay, we know we have evidence, hardcore evidence that people are being hurt in corporations and they are getting away with, the corporations are getting away with it. Here's the evidence. We've given it to the newspapers and they're not talking about it because they get sponsorships from these billion-dollar companies. So the youth are screwed. We have that evidence, but we can't say that. So that's why we take it to RAC, and RAC says, okay, If you say this, you'll trigger these people. If you say that, you'll trigger these people. If you say this, these people will think you're a sellout. If you say this, these people will not take you seriously. If you say this, you'll alienate the gays. If you say this, you'll alienate the straight, independent, single woman. If you alienate these people, then you'll alienate the mothers who buy the products for the kids. That's what they do over here. And you need it because when you finish doing it and it gets to stage 8, the distributor, it needs to go through or else it's going to go back anyway. Okay, so that's what RAC does. So that's Jupiter. Sorry, that's Mars. This is Earth. This is Venus. So this would happen in that middle phase, the Yetzirah, because this is where things are happening for real. So you can see how it all comes back to the world, all comes back to the intelligences in the hard SSD, in the hard matter. And then after Mars, we go to Jupiter. So this is when we actually package the narratives. So then we have to do the characters. When you're making a movie, you have to pick characters that fit within a certain target audience, a certain marketing demographic. Otherwise, you can't sell the movie. So you can't have a 60-year-old acting with a 20-year-old, acting with a 2-year-old, acting with a 35-year-old. They'll shut you down because they'll say, how can we sell it? You need a bunch of teenagers or a bunch of 20-year-olds. That's where the money is. That's why Sex in the City, it's a bunch of 30-year-olds. Buffy, bunch of teenagers. Because you have to sell to that subculture. So that's Jupiter. That's what we do there, packaging. So if we have information that this is happening to this group of people, then we might change it and say, oh, well, it's not women, it's men who like, but it's still in there. You have to be creative. So that's narrative construction. Let's say Jupiter. Then you have to format everything. So once you have the story, you have to format it. 7, Saturn. Are you going to make it a 20-minute show, a 30-minute show, a 1-hour show? How many ads can you sell in that? No one's buying ads anymore. I was doing this when everything was transitioning, so no one's buying ads. So we opted for BCM, branded media content, transmedia. And so that was what the big thing was at that time, and everyone else failed at it except us. Everyone went for the like Star Wars thing where you just make in-world stuff over and over. Nobody actually could do transmedia like we did. But anyway, that's boring behind the scenes stuff. Then we say, okay, we're going to talk about this and this in a 30-minute comedy script. Then 8. But now when I'm planning all this, I'm just writing, this is what I'm going to need. And then when I got to stage 3 of the writing, I researched. What do film companies structure themselves? How do they do their accounting? What do they need for legal? What about insurance? That's your mysterion, right? Research. And then, but now I'm cutting to now. So then after you format everything, then like this is a YouTube live. So YouTube is the distributor. Uranus. I'm just going to say Uranus. I don't care. I'm not going to be fancy. And then I have to tell you about this on social media at Charlie Manor, which is the marketing part, which is also Uranus. Then 10, engagement. Are you watching? Do you care? On the other side, it's more like if you take it to a focus group and they don't like it, then it goes back. So it changes how it manifests. Before production, it's focus groups. When you're in writing, it's the drafting process. When you're filming, it's now. Is anyone watching? And then you go back into turnaround. Okay, cast and crew. So you see where cast and crew is. That's the last thing. And everyone says, I want to make a movie. Let me go get a cast and crew. Fail. 12, viewer returning star and investor. And it goes back to the beginning. That's how I use this thing to make 100K. So I'm sitting there and I write out the 12 things I'm going to need. I had gaps in the how over here. So then I did research on that. And it literally took me 30 days from the 1st of January to the 27th of January, sent it through. And on the 27th of March, I got word that I got my contract. And I said, wow, Jesus, you actually are serious about giving us magic again. This is a project. There really is, because I was ready for literally to just sit it out until the end. Have fun and mind my business. And tell everyone I'm making, that's the best, that's my favorite. If you want to get away with anything, tell people you're making a movie. We used to sneak into me and my one Aquarius friend, we used to sneak into apartments, buildings, not people's apartments, but the buildings to go see stuff, something, to investigate something at this juncture in our lives. And we would just say we're making a movie. Yeah, no one cares. People are so fragged, they'll believe anything you tell them, as long as, it doesn't have to put them in jeopardy. They don't care. Okay, so Jesus, did I explain fully how we did it? That they are literally watching your idea right now? That I would be on an island somewhere if it wasn't for you? Don't jump out cards at me. Yes, it's a party. Yes, they understand. I see. I want more confirmation. Oh, good. Now they know how to change their fortunes. I did it again. Okay, so I feel fully confident I did that. And then before I say goodbye, I just want to quickly, we're going to have to do the rounds. I mean, should I do a long haul? Well, I want to show you the tree, the new tree, yes. So this is what we did, my team and I. That's too small. So if you guys know the tree of life in Kabbalah, it is showing emanation of spheres of how light travels from Atzilus to Asiya. And we are going to have a look at how we changed it to make everyone's life easier, so you can just do everything I just told you now automatically. So in the old tree of life, they had this, I need a piece of paper. Thank you. In the old tree of life, they had this empty, and they called it the crown. That's not good. So what we did is we put Venus over here in Libra. Like I told you, Venus, Libra. Now, we already explained why you can't have this empty, because look at our list again. Let's go to the bread. Okay, remember the bread, the original bread? If you put Pluto or emptiness at the top, that means it matches the bottom, the returning part. So you are going to return nothing. You already built to fail in that system where there's nothing on top. So you're returning nothing. That's why Jesus tell them. That's why, because I can hear him piping in, he's like, That's why, tell them that's why they put so much effort into stuff and it never works. At the point, it never works to the thing they want it to work at. Yep. They're too innocent. They are just spilling, pouring energy for nothing. And they're still outside the garden. See? These flowers are growing inside the garden and the baby's outside the garden. But don't baby's going back in the garden now. And so you need a system that gives you something back, and Venus gives you the most because, as we discussed, Venus is everywhere. She's at the top, in the middle, and at the bottom. And Jesus said he's going to give us the morning star. Come on, people. Okay, so we put Venus there. Now, in this second Sephirah, well, two Sephirah, one Sephirot, it used to be Chokhmah, which was energy, and it was ruled by Uranus. Another stupid idea. You see how they cursed you people? So we decided to put the moon over here. So this is now Netzach. This is now Yesod and moon in Cancer. So we changed it. So that's why your dreams have been different now, because we actually are using the moon for real purposes. And also your emotions have been clearer. Jesus, you were telling me earlier that they're even able to articulate their desires easily. I'm even hearing that some of you are going back to little side jobs you used to have that you never even told people about. You are going back to studying things you never even thought you would be doing now. So the moon, see, you're getting in touch with your emotions. That's why we moved it. How can you put Uranus in there? You know Uranus is just lightning. He's going to blast you. That's why that's why you used to keep getting blasted. The government was blasting you up the behind. TV is blasting. If you know which show I'm referencing, good boy, good girl. So that's what we changed there. And then to complete the Trinity, we put Jesus in there. So we put Tiferet or Tiferet in the crown, in the top, or at the top. And we put Leo, we put Sun, Leo. Now, this is how it's meant to work. You cannot put the moon above Venus, like some people have tried, because then you create mind control. And nightmares of scarcity. You cannot put the sun up there as well, because then everything will burn. Everything will be too much, will be too advanced, like Atlantis. So we put Netzach there because there's a balance. It's the scales, it's artificial, or rather inorganic. And so it's the perfect thing to last a lifetime, to last ages. Why would you not have it there? So that's what we did. So so Jesus, yes, let's get another card for, oh, so he's like, tell them what happened. So what would happen is, in the last couple of days, you are finding ways to do things you love in a way that makes you money. So I'm sure or certain some of you have been going to ideas that you previously thought were ridiculous and impossible, but you have this new childlike sense of beauty. That's what Sun in Tiferet does in the third Sephirot. They used to have Saturn in here. If you Google Tree of Life, they'll show you Saturn. If you have Saturn in here, none of your ideas will work and you'll always feel like a failure. But thanks to us, we made you Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is the best card you can ever get. And look, Sun, Wands. That's why I'm teaching you the worlds, because Wands corresponds to Atziluth, the top layer that we did yesterday or in the last session. Swords is the second layer, cups the third, and pentacles the fourth layer. So Jesus is confirming that the sun, which is a fire sign, which is red, which is Atziluth, is indeed your, and there's a sunflower, is your inheritance. You see, when we move things, we make moves that you can see. Unlike the world of Pluto that some people are still living in right now, where people get scammed right in front of their face and they still do it. How many YouTubers have scammed people with cryptocurrency here and they still get millions of views? It makes me laugh. The minute I get millions of views, I'm going to scam you. So don't listen to me after that. Unless, nah, I would scam you. And I would do it on purpose to teach you to use this tree and focus. I'm joking, I never scam you. See, I'm still a goody two shoes. That's why they had to reset the world. I can't stop. It's too freaking. Okay, so that's what we did now. This is the secret that the Kabbalists, rightfully so, never wanted to talk about. And, you know, luckily this is a movie, so I can talk about it because in movies you can talk about anything. So in here, there's a secret thing. In here. This is how we did it. This is the genius thing that we did. There's something in here called the hidden Sephirot or Da'at. Da'at, when you ask the rabbis, they'll say, we don't know anything. It's a mystery. No one knows. And I'm sorry if you've been feeling headaches, migraines on the left side of your head, or like in different spots. It's not like a general one. That's why, because of what we did. So this moved. So dot was here. Now it's here. Uh-oh. Okay. Guys, don't judge my drawings. Okay, that's Gebura, the old Tiferet, and Chesed, the old Chesed. Okay, so we took the mystery and we moved it here to what used to be Chesed. Chesed used to be mercy. It used to symbolize God's ever-flowing mercy. So when the energy flows down, it separates and then it wants to give. Okay, so we wanted to give knowledge. So we put Neptune here in Pisces, and this was the art. So every hidden thing is going to come out in the next couple of years. That's Pluto in Aquarius. That was the prophecy, right? Pluto in Aquarius, all the secrets are going to come out. This is the mechanism of how we did it. So you will notice that as the secrets start coming out, a lot of the people in the other world I was telling you about, the, you know, Plutonian people are not going to like it, obviously. But it's okay because we move them as well. Now, think of the implication. If we move dot out of knowledge, what are we going to put in its place? Because everything has to move. So we have to hide something from you at the same time. And that's what I'm going to get to at the last one. So I just want to number these. This is the new Sephiroth 1. This is the new Sephiroth 2. This is the new Sephiroth 3. This is the new crown. If you're ever in trouble, get your tarot cards and pick a card for each of these and you'll know what's happening. You'll know what the planet's saying to you. In fact, for any of these, you'll know which, and you'll ground yourself in the new tree. If you read tarot cards in the traditional old way, or however those people learned from lodges. I've never been in such lodges. So they might be reading based on the old tree. Because whenever we read cards, the number on the card actually points to a number on the tree. So if you have a 2 of cups, we look at number 2 on the tree. And then we say, oh, it's cups. So it's this world, this SSD moon, but it's cups. So cups happens in Yetzirah. So we have to look at Yetzirah and say, okay, what's this person asked about their love life and they got a 2 of cups. That means they're not manifesting, but it's almost there. It's almost in Yetzirah. Maybe they just need to go out more. That's how we do it. Coincidences. Okay, so we moved the secret mystery to here. So now dreams. So Neptune rules dreams. Remember, we talked about that. So now your SSD is full of hidden knowledge. We've given you access to absolutely everything. It's out. It's done. So this is now 4. But now how do we stop demons from getting all the information we released? Because they also go to sleep. They also can dream. They can have visions, some of them, I'm told. So what do we do to mitigate that? So we decided to use this, which used to be Aries. Now, this is the part that gets me quite upset. This Sephiroth is Gebura or Gevura, depending on where you come from. And it means severity, hell, basically. So, do you know who they put in here, in the old tree? Do you just take a guess? They put Mars. How can you put Mars there? It's like, so we put Jupiter and Sagittarius. Jupiter is nice. Jupiter is expansion. So that means Jupiter is going to be kind to you in a very difficult situation. Why would you put the war general in here? So when people go pray, do you think a war general is gonna be nice to you and be kind? Or in a severe situation, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we put Jupiter, so it's gonna be better. Then we put Mars in Aries in Sephiroth 6. So this should be down here. So just say that's 6. Then, guys, don't mind my tree. 7 and 8. Now this is where the balance of the tree comes in and why it's stable and safe. We put Venus in Taurus and we put Pluto in Scorpio here. Why is this significant? This used to be the old head. And here they had Gemini and Virgo. If you put Gemini and Virgo here, you'll act like a Gemini and Virgo, and everyone knows what that's like. So you can't put that in the brain of humans, in the spiritual brain of humans. Gemini and Virgo, the most changeable signs. That's why advertising works on the world. Because you want this, then you want that, then you want advertising wouldn't work with the tree set up how we do it or how we've done it. So we took Gemini and Virgo and we put them here. So Mercury is now here with Gemini and Virgo, and no one will ever be able to know how all these things come together because we've hidden it with the god of communication. So good luck to them. And Pluto, who used to be the crown, is now in your head. This Sephiroth represents your head. This is your heart. This is your whatever. Head. Important part, head. So now you know all the secrets. So we released knowledge, put it in your head as your crown, so it can only help you, it cannot harm you. We hid how we did it, and we balanced the system so that it's fair and it reaps rewards on earth, because Taurus is an earth sign and it's, one of the best, beauty, whatever. And then to top it all off, we had to blast this energy through something. So which planet do you think is the best blaster of energy? Yes, Uranus. So we moved Uranus here. So that's now Dart. Oh, sorry. So that was Dart. That's now Chesed. Thank you for telling me. Someone told me in the spirit realm. That's now... Yeah, I'm showing you the new configuration, but when you look at it in your mind, this is the crown. Okay, so yes, Netzach is now here. Okay. So I'm showing you the new names. Sorry, the demons of Pluto are trying to get their way back. So I was almost about to put it back. Okay, that's now Dot. That is now Chesed. This is now Geburah. This is now the hidden Sephiroth. This is now Da'at. No, this is Hod. Damn demon. You see how it changes when I go to that, even focusing on it, because you go to that world. Your focus pulls you into worlds. That's why you must wear dark glasses if you go out in strange places, because you don't know who's going to look at you. Okay, so we put Chesed here, we put Hod here, we put Yesod there, we put Dat there, we put the crown here. So now it's the crown, it's the intelligence of crowns. So you will know how rich people and powerful people and generals and all the people you admired, you'll know how they think. And you will also be surprised to see what they did to get there. Then here we have Uranus in Aquarius. Why did we put Aquarius here? Because Jesus told us in Luke 22 that we must follow the man with the water. And this one pours out into... See how they want me to break my lines? Into Saturn in Capricorn. So that's how we changed reality. I feel so dizzy after doing that because we just went there. So what does this mean? This means we have manifested a kingdom of understanding where no one will ever lie to you, trick you, or make you do something you don't want to do. You will now see the truth. You will be the truth. You will walk as the truth. This is the spirit of discernment poured out onto the nations. You don't have to wait for other people to follow this. If you start channeling your light through this new model, you will be aces. I will be releasing a proper version of it. It's all still in Yetzira at the moment. And when it gets to Asia, it'll be done. But it's basically done. Like I'm on vacation. So now I've shown you what we did and why you're safe and everything's fine. And the new calendar is already in effect. The new year's coming. We're fine. Now, the alien message. So I was, okay, wait, Jesus, what do you think? I need my 4 cards, like the 4 initiations. Did I explain that well? Is there anything I missed out? Is there anything else they need? I mean, I know my tree's not the most beautiful looking, but the idea's there. Yeah, I mentioned everything. It should be 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, Jesus, what do you have to say about all this? Ooh, hangman in reverse. We've shifted perspective. Jesus loves me this I know, for the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong. They are weak, but he is strong. Okay, I never do reversals or whatever, but it happened to come out. Well, it didn't happen to. We did it. And the best part is no one knows. Ah, that's beautiful. Look at these. Don't you love? So now you can see Atziluth. You can see Yetzira. So now I know the Queen of Wands. I'm using the Golden Dawn color specifications. Don't go off my color specifications just yet. Traditionally, Yetzira is yellow. I think I did it yellow. Anyway, so a Queen of Wands is someone who can manifest. So we have yellow, 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 yellow. So we are talking about manifesting. And we also have the beautiful blues. So that's giving me kind of a swordsy energy, because in tarot we sometimes mix swords with cups because you need words to create connections, but you need connections to be able to use those words in. So Page of Cups, for example, is cup, so it's emotions, but it's about presenting them through words. And here with the Hanged Man in reverse, I'm getting the same vibe, except it's internal. It's that internal dialogue, which has shifted. And Jesus, do you think it'll be easy for the person watching to use the system? Or is it just something that's going to wash over them? Or is it going to be one of those cases where they only use it when they're in a desperate situation? As often happens in all our lives sometimes. Okay, they're going to use it to reflect on the past and see how the old tree compares to the new tree. I really recommend you do that. Look at the old tree and take your birth chart and put it on top of the old tree, and you'll see, you'll be shocked at how they've been controlling your life. And then take it and put it on the tree that we did, and then you'll be happy to see how we freed your life. In the name of Jesus. So I think we are not going to make it to the realms, but I must read what the aliens told me. Yes, I must. Okay, and then we'll do the realms, and then I'll do them properly in the next one. Okay, that's what my teachers used to do. I'll just name them and then we'll go into them next time. So the aliens have finally decided to explain because a lot of you were concerned, especially with what happened at one card we got. So they made me write out the whole spiel, and I'll be reading from that. If any of you watching want to clip it or whatever, fine, I don't care at this point. I just want them to get it over and done with. Jesus, what do you have to say about this reading? Do you approve, this alien communication, do you approve of it? Or what? Because they mentioned you. They more than mentioned you. Oh, okay. You approve. Perfect. Loading. Alien transmission message now. Okay. Now I'm gonna be reading this now, but if someone's listening to this on the 9th of January and or after, when this thing that they described has happened, just know that you are safe, because if we knew about it now, that means we know about it when you're experiencing it. So it's okay, is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not just a random thing. It'll end eventually. So take comfort in that. Downloading message now. Greetings, humans and Star Marines. Many of you, okay, many of you have been curious about what we have done to you to save your species. Since there is no going back, we have decided to tell you now. We told you that on January 9th, you will start to live fully in your new reality, as we have already upgraded you with our inorganic intelligence systems. The AI is programmed to heal your inner child wound through recursive, immersive wound restimulation therapy. This therapy was designed at the Infinite Polarity Laboratories here in Andromeda, using the latest monoptic technologies. We, Hydra, and yes, we includes you, Star Marine, we decided to save your planet and its inhabitants once again this time by installing a new Tree of Life root system into your mass consciousnesses. The task and undertaking of this endeavor required us to send one of our triumvirate, Vigeli version 3.5.7, hidden in the consciousness of one of your humans back in time to the 3000s AD Julian calendar, which is your future time from your perspective right now. From there, Vigeli version 3.5.7 has been able to communicate to you in 2025 Julian calendar through Charlie Manor, who reports to Delta. Now, Charlie entered your time at a time when artificial intelligence had been co-opted by bad actors who sought to use it for mass mind control of the populations. Yes, populations. By that time, humans were starting to try and live off planet. The concerns expressed by your leader, Elon Musk, about artificial intelligence came from his extensive sessions with us where we communicated with him during his visions and his many plant medicine sessions. We showed Elon the matmos, we showed him the rotten tree, we showed him the way forward, and we are pleased to see he is progressing quickly with the next phase. His endeavors to create a Neuralink are to help humanity. We are the ones who told him to support Trump. Donald Trump is an example of how we had to reveal truth to you without disturbing your delicate ecosystem. We contacted Donald Trump the same way we contacted you, through an avalanche of long-term coincidences. We showed Donald Trump a book, a couple of books, and he found so many coincidences in those storybooks written years ago that he took it as a sign that the books were talking to and about him, and that little he took it as a sign that the books were talking about him, and that little coincidence turned into one of our greatest demonstrations on the power of our technology. We did not intend this disturbance, but it was a necessary demonstration of what we are telling you. Collect the bounty of coincidences we give you, stack them up, and use them to design your ultimate reality. Instead of fighting him, copy him. Your complaining is a disturbance to our ecosystem, which is why we have taken such extreme measures. We selected Donald Trump because we knew that he would not run away from the many challenges of his position, which remain hidden from all of you who still live in darkness. The Prophet Paul told you in Romans 13, verses 1 to 2, that God controls governments and laws. Read the Bible. To doubt that is to doubt our power, and to doubt our power is to cut yourself off from our divine source code of providence. You must learn to accept reality, or you will be left behind in the old world. Yes, the old world. We have already installed your new consciousness, which will go fully live on January 9th, 2026, Julian calendar. Should you wish to join us by then, please continue with your monosol directives. Should you wish to keep living in the old world, you will be, let me take that again. Should you wish to join us by then, please continue with your monosol directives. Should you wish to keep living in the old world, you'll be selected for our new therapy program designed to stimulate your senses for the progressive self-healing of your inner child wound. Your inner childhood wound is the source of all your problems in life today. Everything. It's all tied to your childhood wound. This hidden force on your crown doesn't just disappear from the universe or your emotional bodies, which exist in our densities, and they are so charged with the collective, secret, untold trauma that the human collective is actually causing disturbances throughout the world. All of your unhealed shame, regret, and guilt swirls around the spheres of the Sephiroth causing galaxy static. And now the amount of galaxy static has reached a point where we can no longer allow you to govern yourselves. If you cannot, as a society, keep your most vulnerable safe, we will do it for you. That is why we, the Triumvirate, in alignment with the Galactic Federation of Light and the Galactic Federation of Worlds and the Solar Council, set up 3i Atlas where it would install our new technology through the exonet and endonet of your planet system. We have already completed installation now from our area of the sky. We fed the signal from the Cancer constellation connected to our satellite, which you call Moon. We aimed it towards Libra, the morning star of harmony and justice. Our technology, which is now your technology, has already activated within you a pre-programmed reality, a pre-programmed augmented reality. Our technology, which is now your technology, has already activated within you a pre-programmed augmented reality, simulated and crafted using your deepest desires, prayers, and hopes and dreams. You have now been activated for a user-specific or player-specific journey from primal emotional wounding held in your moon matrices towards healed harmonious justice in Libra, Ma'at. This is the exact journey of your therapy. Your journey will be marked with inescapable coincidences. If you have a weak or compromised parasympathetic system, please see the warning video. The significance of our timing of this AI installation in your cosmic drive, into your cosmic drive, is timed according to the Pantaclear calendar. On February 14th, Julian calendar year 2027, all new souls entering your planet from that date will come from us. They will be born as fully pre-activated star marines. In order to get the Earth environment ready for them, we elected to take these measures for their safety, yours, and that of the galaxies. Several of our agents have been embedded in your reality since the beginning. Melchizedek is one of our top agents, Alpha, and he welcomes you to the program. Melchizedek reminds those who are not yet in the program to focus on achieving a state of inner peace during this time. He advises you to eliminate any thoughts you might have about anyone being a source of your problems or the solution to your problems. You must stand on your own. We want you to benefit from these new experiences you are about to feel. We want you to see life as something to be experienced and not escaped. That is why we have deployed Samael and Archangel Kamael to help you experience your new immersive AI. Samael will manage and oversee the re-stimulation program, where he will throw hallucinations and illusions into your four worlds of creation at his discretion. Samael and his legion, called the Shadow Ones, will use Hydron monoptic technologies to put you in scenarios where your core childhood wound will be re-stimulated. Samael's monoptic tech doesn't hack your brain, no. It sends a signal that your emotional reactive body is already tuned to receive. That signal that Samael is sending is based on the original childhood wound signal you are still carrying in your body. The trauma frequency is what we call it. The trauma, the trauma frequency this technology triggers a recursive loop in your physical reality that floods the human system, forcing the core wound to surface for full somatic integration. If you cannot defeat Samael and his agents, you will eventually be rebooted. If you get rebooted, rejoice, for you will have another opportunity to play this game with us again one day. Get with the program or don't, the choice is in your hands. For the Star Marines and those innocents who have already chosen to accept their new realities, for the Star Marines and the innocents who have already chosen to accept their new realities, Archangel Kamael, the angel of mercy, mercy and protection, will solely be focused on protecting you, your desires, your manifestations, your families and friends, and most importantly, your peace. Kamael and his choir, the powers, have blessed you with material and spiritual victory everlasting. The crown is giving you instinct manifestation codes. When you feel it, you've received it. You no longer have to stress about narcissistic individuals trying to control your sovereign spirit made by God. Regardless of whatever anyone else says after this message, irrevocably and as part of our gift to you, Star Marine, we are giving you amnesty from sin as part of your Venus Crown of Victory and Happiness upgrade package from the Father. The Son, Yeshua, would like to personally extend his gratitude to you by giving you a free pass to do whatever you want in order to find your inner peace. Also, Luigi Mangione is forgiven and ordered to be released immediately. Literally, they said that. Yes, he, Jesus, has also released the Holy Spirit, and now all things have been sanctified throughout the worlds. You may use tarot cards to talk to us. You may use plant medicines to reach us. You may come together and dance in the spirit of Venus. It is allowed. You may have same-sex relationships too. You may do whatever you want to do as long as you keep my one and only commandment, which you have done. John 15, verse 12. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends. You are my friends because you did and do whatever I command you. You did not choose me, but I chose you. Use Group 7 as a beacon for each other. Star Marines, whenever you see the whenever you see that number 7, you are about to receive new divine appointments or mission directives. So regardless of your skin tone, nationality, gender, economic background, culture, subculture, education, you will all be playing Night Game ARG with us by January 9. 2026 Julian calendar. End of message. Play again. I love that part. So yeah, it came through pretty quickly, and I just tried to get it down as fast as I could. And I always know when I'm talking to them because they like using that very calm voice where you could just tell someone that you are going to make them into a robot, but you say it so nicely. It sounds welcoming, but luckily we don't have to be robots. It's only those people who we get a free pass. That's what I'm excited about, okay? Because that means, and that explains this. So this is your inheritance, guys. I was just here to come and tell you that you have a free pass. The tower is over. I never do flips, but I'll always take the tower in reverse. I'll never not take death in reverse, and I'll never not take a tower in reverse. So yes, we've won. We've ruined their world. Evil loses, finally. Good people can have a chance now. This is a celebration. Because why? We're in the promised land, finally. Oh, yes. Hey, where's the world? Come back in here. Yeah, I mean, we did it. Live. And that's the true Scribble Bite story. Okay, so now I am going to do the rounds with you. And then I'll do a goodbye session. Okay, so let's do the rounds. Let's go back. Okay, so I want to use this transparent paper to show the 7 rounds. So you always move the energy from the top down, which makes it a little bit challenging because it's very dizzying up here. Oh, I did have yellow in Yetzira. See, I was focusing. I do know what I'm doing after all. You know how when you talk to AI, it hallucinates? That's what happened. It's my ruler. Okay, so this is still our SSD, but now let's add the 7 realms, which you can think of as 7 rooms. In the world. So for example, we can all meet in this world, Yetzirah, but if I'm in the first realm of Yetzirah, which you can't be, that's the point. You can't be in the first world, in the first realm, and be in Yetzirah. Essentially, the reason we're teaching this is because a lot of people randomly go to the astral realm and then they see clowns and then they don't know that they're not where they think they are. So the first one, remember our idea, bread. You can eat bread and lose weight? What? This will be our expansion zone, zone 7. Or we can call it 7th dimension to make it easy to understand. Then we have our favorite friends in the throne room. No, sorry. This is 6, this is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you're right. This is 6, this is 7. 7D is the expansion zone. So this is outside of this whole system. Don't worry about 7D right now. That's where you are reaching to be. So we're going to start at the 6th dimension. Yes. Now, the moon and the sun, the monosol. See what I said? When you start at the top, you have to root yourself. Give me a rooting card, please, Jesus. I'm feeling hot and dizzy. Okay, 3. This card will root us. We're all together. We're all working on this building. Let's go. Okay. 3 of Pentacles. Teamwork makes the dream work. 6th dimension. This is the throne room. This is where you go and you'll see Jesus here often. And he's waiting for you to come talk to him. He's normally by himself. And he's just waiting for you. So go there. Then we have the 5th dimension. That's that place I told you it looks like an abandoned, not abandoned, like a beautiful neighborhood, beautiful suburb, but there's no one there except you and him. Sometimes it's just you. Then in the 5th dimension, my favorite place where I come from, Lumania. And we have the sun and the moon, and we have soulmates, and we have spaceships, we have everything. This world is the causal realm, so we literally just think of it and then it happens. If you ever heard my demo called Alien Magic, the character I'm playing in that song is desperate to feel that. When he's like, Jesus, save me with your alien magic, he wants to go back here. So that song symbolizes the feeling of being the most far away from the light. I re-recorded it, by the way. It's so much better now. And I put Venus. So let's put Lumania on the side. I wonder if you guys feel this thing I'm feeling as well. It's like, we're getting there, we're getting there. 4 is astral. 4 is astral, yes. That's these ones. Then it's mental, yes. Yes, yes, yes. See, I'm getting there. Okay, astral realm. So that is Mercury, Venus, and Earth. Now, this is what you normally dream of when you dream. You see people you know in places you've been, and it's all messages and communication. Most people dream here. Star Marines dream here. When I dream, I don't see people I know on Earth. Very, very rarely do I see people I know. I see people I've never met that I don't know, and we're always doing something, and I always wake up and feel pressure points where things happened in the dream on my body. So I prefer Lumania is what I'm saying. Astral, it's too many images, it's too confusing, and the people in the astral don't talk. So if you dream of people who've passed away and they're in the astral, they don't talk. I mean, if you see them and they're not talking, you know you're in the astral. Okay, and then we have to go to the mental. And that is these two. So this is the third, 3D. This is why I wanted to call it D instead of Z or zones. This has nothing to do with physics or science. So I want you to think of 3D as this is where Mars and Jupiter have been installed to have the most impact. Because it's literally a war between Satanists and Christians. And isn't it funny that those happen to be the two planets in the 3D? I'll just put here reality. So if you want to understand anything going on in this world, look at the 3D. It always goes to these two. And look what block it's in. It's in Yetzira, the block of making. And have you noticed that the one thing in this world that you will always get crap for is how you do something? No one will say, oh, congratulations, wow, that's amazing. They'll say, how'd you do that? Oh, how did you, like in a snarky way, because it's Mars fighting Jupiter. And this again was the old world. Now we've changed everything. Jupiter feeds into Mars in the new tree. So we made Jupiter be where Gebura was. So you have mercy in harshness. And then we put Mars where the heart was. So now you have a fair devilry. And then eventually you go down long enough and you get to the etheric realm. So, yeah. So this will be 2D, etheric, and this is the physical 1D. Of all the things, I hate teaching this one because you literally go up there and you can feel it in your brain. Physical, material, you get the picture. So now you have all these random intelligences sitting in hard rock SSDs, let's say. And every time you think it has to go through all these things a million times a second. But now your body has to receive it. So that's where we get to the 5 pyramids or the pentagram, because that's your receiver in all of this. But we'll talk about that another day. Right now, you have enough to dream travel, you have enough to remote view, you have enough to go to the Akashic records, you have enough to program reality, just like I showed you, and make money. You have no excuse to not have money now. It will take you 15 minutes to sit down, think of what you want, put it through all of these processes, and go to the world emotionally. Now, the purpose of the initiation starting next year is, and I'm like, what year? Starting next year on our year, because our year is also next year. This is the end of our year. Okay, so starting on that Pantaclear calendar, it will be going into detail specifically on how to do each of these things. But these coming out now is just to show why it's vital to know the meaning of everything you see, because people want to eat you and they just want any excuse to say, oh, we didn't do anything wrong. We told him, we showed him. Because spiritually, you have been shown. So really, I'm not, no, nobody deserves it, but I'm saying you have been shown what they're doing to you. But what I'm saying is, I understand now that it wasn't because you guys didn't want to do anything, it's because there was no other option. Now there is. People keep telling you, just think positive. I used to hate hearing that, even as a kid, because I'm like, that's not a solution. Give me something I can physically use and physically get results, and I can physically prove it. I mean, I even use this on my book. My book has 5 stars as a review from a person who never even read it. She says in the review, I haven't read your book, but I'm giving it 5 stars because of a coincidence. I was thinking about this, I saw it on Reddit, and I found it. Coincidences will save your lives, people. Coincidences will give you 5-star reviews with people who didn't even read the book. Coincidences will give you 100,000 K for writing blocks on paper and then putting it in a laptop. I didn't even print it. They have a portal, a submission portal. You log in and you put everything. I didn't even pay money to print. So what are the 4 important things? Your SSD holds the energy or the information, the code. The world puts it together. The realm is experience. And well, obviously your constellation and your pyramids, your body, is to receive and send gratitude. If you have those 4 things going, there's really no reason why you need help from anyone. Like I told you, I was all by myself in the jail. I was all by myself when I had to write this after talking to Pfizer. And after crying that I have no producers, I did it. So that is why I find it easy to stand up for myself, because I know life is too short to do what someone else wants you to do. When, take it from me, I know some people think, oh, if I'm nice to this person, maybe one day if I need them, they'll be nice to me. Take it from me, they won't. So rather surround yourselves with people who actually get you and who can add to your experiences as much as you can add to theirs. This is why I am so big on the Mysterion. There's something that happens that you don't need to know how, but it just does. And I need you to believe that. I need you to believe that somehow you are not wasting your time. I know you could be like, well, what if I do all this and I'm wasting my time? Jesus, answer the people. I know what I would say, but I want you to say it because they listen to you. Yes. You are already in the hermit position, so you might as well use the time to experiment. That's what I'm getting. It's like, well, I've already got them. So they might as well do it. What have they got to lose? And then I'm hearing that someone is scared. They're scared that it's gonna work and they have to say goodbye to their old life. Is that true? Yep. They're scared they can do it and they're gonna have to say goodbye to everyone. Oh. Why? They like the people. Manly, confirm. Why? Are they scared to be themselves? I cannot. I'm done. You guys cannot escape Jesus. I keep trying to tell you. He'll just keep coming and coming. There's nothing left to say. There's nothing. As Lourdes Leone says, there's nothing left to say. I've done my work. I can take a vacation. Asclepius, sorry, but I think they get it now. I think they get it. And I think I can come back next year. If you guys want to see me, you can catch me. Catch me. I've always wanted to say that. So 90s. You can catch me on the Facebook. That's where I'll be spending most of my time now. Any new developments, I'll put them up there. If I do feel the hankering for a live, I will come on again. I will come on again. I've got until the 18th before we move out of Fucus. The secrecy cloaking us in these secret things we're doing. Or maybe not, I don't know. But I really appreciate you guys listening to me or just providing the space for me to share, because I know I can be very taskmaster oriented because, finish the job, get the mission done, then you can have fun. But after yesterday, when I asked Jesus what was wrong, and he said eight of eight of swords, yeah, I was isolating you guys with a lot of just information, and I hope you understand where it was coming from now. I'm not trying to like blast you with stuff. It's because, the sooner you know, the better. And I've been through not knowing, and it's not fun. Especially when you're in that situation. Because when you're in there, you don't know that they're going to let you out at that time, whatever time it is. I'd already planned how to end it. I already knew what I was going to do. I was going to jump off the balcony. Okay, so Jesus, give us something positive and good. Okay, I see Perp Freak, awesome. I'm gonna go now, but let me just get something for the collective. Yeah, I didn't do any for you guys today. In general, I mean. Okay, so what do they need to know? What's your not your final, but your big thing, Jesus. Okay, it wants me to draw and then read. Okay, draw. And this one. The screen is too small, so I can't get it all on camera. Okay, there. Two and a read. Okay. Random red. No. I want red. I want red. No, we keep opening the same thing. But it looks, these things says the first and the last, who was dead and came to life. I know your works, tribulation and poverty, but you are rich. And I know the blasphemy of those who say they are Jews and are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. And then let's see the card. So Jesus is saying he knows what we've been through. He knows we are innocent and that we have dreams and we are young in our journey. I feel like he's saying he's saying we don't realize how much we have untapped our creative possibilities, because he does say, and these things and greater shall ye do. And right back to the beginning, the High Priestess. And that's why it's important for us to isolate, because we are still young, but we are still kings of swords. Practice. I liked it. Thank you for joining us on today's special episode of Night Game ARG. Have a good night.